Hi, my name is Mayor Jim Altadonna. My colleagues and I would like to welcome you to our 75th anniversary. As we talk about the Village of Massapequa Park, and as people always come up to me, they want to know what's so special about Massapequa Park. And after a long pause and after much thought, I've finally come to the conclusion that it's really the people. The people are the most precious part of Massapequa Park. They're a caring, learned group that will settle for nothing less than the best. And as a community, we grow. And we've grown throughout these 75 years, from the humble beginnings of the forefathers through many administrations that left their mark on this village. We now get to enjoy the fruits of all of the hard work from our predecessors. And please join us when we celebrate this 75th anniversary. I would like to personally thank Carolyn and Al James of the Massapequa Post for sponsoring this video.
In the early 1920s, young Michael Brady and his partners, Frank Cryan and Peter Colleran, formed a real estate company, Brady, Cryan, and Colleran. Brady had been advised by his friend Al Smith that Robert Moses' Jones Beach project was to be a surefire hit, and that the lands in the southeast corner of Nassau County would soon be ripe for development. The partners started buying land in what we now call Massapequa Park. The partners wanted this community to be modern and attract up-and-comers like themselves. On May 12, 1929, they participated in the opening of Fitzmaurice Flying Field on a tract of land between 2nd and Roosevelt Avenues, Smith and Spruce Streets. This made Massapequa Park the first community to boast of having its own flying field. The field was named for Colonel James Fitzmaurice, the famed Irish aviator who piloted the Bremen. Colonel Fitzmaurice and several other notable aviators of the period attended the dedication. Women pilots have played a huge part in Long Island aviation history. This photo was taken at the grand opening of Fitzmaurice Flying Field in 1929 and shows Colonel Fitzmaurice, Thea Rashi, a German aerobatic daredevil, and Eleanor Smith. At 16, Eleanor was the youngest licensed pilot in the United States. In 1928, she flew her plane under 4 New York bridges. In 1930, she was voted best pilot at endurance flights. And in 1934, she was the first woman on a Wheaties cereal box. In 1931, Brady, Cryan, and Colleran successfully incorporated the village of Massapequa Park. Peter Colleran was elected the first mayor. Frank Cryan was appointed village justice. This single action gave total control of the community to the people and allowed them to chart their own destiny. It would take the town of Oyster Bay out of the picture and allow the community to establish its own zoning code. The plaza was located on the corner of Sunrise Highway and Park Boulevard. It was a grassy knoll in a crescent shape with Massapequa Park spelled out in white 4-foot concrete letters. On top of the knoll stood a flagpole. In the 40s and 50s, almost any map you got in a gas station had a photo of the plaza on it. In 1936, Mayor Colleran resigned, and the village found itself looking for a place to meet and operate a government. The name was changed to Fort Neck House after the Revolution. This building was Massapequa's first mansion. Renovations proved to be cost prohibitive, so the board elected to buy the property owned by Adolph W. Grow on Front Street between 6th and 7th Avenues, consisting of a 2-story home without a basement, plumbing, or heat. The land was 206 feet by 248 feet for the sum of $2,000. The building served as our village hall until 1966. In later years, a playground was added to the front lawn, making it the village's first park. In 1939, Mrs. Mary Wallace went door to door collecting money, $90 to be exact. She presented the money to the village board in October and told the trustees the village should have a Christmas tree in these hard times. She said the money should be used to buy lights and candy apples to be given to the children. The board agreed. Superintendent of Public Works Herman Hoffman donated a 35-foot spruce tree from his front lawn on Grand Boulevard and planted it on the plaza. On December 23, 1939, Mayor Doherty pulled a switch to light the tree, a tradition that continues to this day. The end of World War II led to a building boom across the country. By the 1950s, the village was growing rapidly, so much so that the fire district recognized the need for a new firehouse to service our expanding community. The district purchased the old Woodcastle Hotel site on Front Street and 2nd Avenue. A small fire station was built to house Engine Company 5 and Rescue Company 3, which were relocated from the East End Firehouse on Merrick Road. The rescue company in those days was to aid injured firefighters only. The expansion of services to the public would occur years later. Fireman's Plaza, built on the site of the original Village Plaza on Sunrise Highway and Park Boulevard. The bell tower was erected in 1986 to honor community spirit and the members of the Massapequa Fire Department. The bell rings at noon and 6 p.m. every day. In 1999, work began on the addition of the statue and memorial walls. This project was a joint effort of the Village, Fire District, and Massapequa Fire Department Benevolent Association. The names on the memorial walls represent those members of the department who served at least 5 years or died while still members of the department. New names are added every year in June. During World War II, the village erected a wall of heroes on top of the plaza at Sunrise Highway and Park Boulevard, showing all those serving from the village. After the war, a memorial was erected honoring all those residents who gave their lives defending our freedom. This monument was moved along with the plaza in the 1960s to make way for the elevation of the Long Island Railroad Station. It was placed in the outfield of Brady Park, where it remained until the 1980s, when the plaza was replaced by a bandstand. The memorial now stands in front of the stage. In the early 1960s, the village and the Massapequa International League got together to convert a sandlot baseball field at Front Street and Lakeshore Drive into a decent ball field. The village graded the lot and seeded the field, and the league built in-ground real dugouts. The village was in the process of designing a new village hall and decided to move the playground from the village hall to the lot just north of the ball field. They named the new park in honor of our judge and founding father, Michael J. Brady. Ironically, the property just north of the playground was the home of our first mayor, Peter Colleran. His home would become our first community center. Mansfield Memorial stands on Abbey Street and Manhattan Avenue. It honors William Mansfield, who was the first village resident killed in the Vietnam War. Volunteers who donated their time and talents to create this tribute to one of our own built the memorial. Mansfield Park is leased by the village for 99 years. This park runs from Walker Street south to Jerusalem Avenue, from the east side of the bike path to the property lines on Lakeshore Drive. The park includes a baseball diamond and 2 soccer fields. Clawson Plaza is the triangle where Lakeshore Drive and Park Boulevard divide. This monument honors Christian Clawson, who served in the Spanish-American War. His country recognized Mr. Clawson for his actions at the sinking of the Maine. He received the Congressional Medal of Honor for bravery. He is the only village resident ever to hold this distinction. Mr. Clawson was an honored guest at the inauguration of President John F. Kennedy. He passed away a few weeks later. The Korean War Memorial, located on Lakeshore Drive and Mayflower Avenue. This memorial was dedicated on the 50th anniversary of the Korean War. It honors all who served from the village. Former trustee and village employee Peter Epp designed this memorial. Mr. Epp was also the former commander of VFW Post 7763. Crossing Guard Park, located on the east side of Eastlake Avenue, just south of Maryland Avenue. This park honors the dedicated people who help get our children to and from school every day. In May of 2000, parents from the Eastlake School PTA wanted to honor Teresa Cuevas, who manned her post on Eastlake Avenue and Massachusetts Avenue. The Board of Trustees agreed, and so created this park. Names of former crossing guards are added from time to time. The Village Square, one of the newest parks in the village, built in 2001. The square is located on Park Boulevard and Front Street and serves as the permanent home of the village Christmas tree. It also contains a monument to all the village residents lost in the World Trade Center on September 11, 2001. Note the engraved bricks with messages from current and former residents. The sale of these bricks defrayed the cost of building this beautiful spot. Hairline Rumfield Park, located where Clark Boulevard meets Front Street. This park salutes all our founding families. Frank and Charlotte Rumfield lived on 2nd Avenue just north of Clark Boulevard. Charlotte's family has lived here and still does since before the Civil War.
When I talk about the people of the village, there's two groups that really come to mind. It's our seniors over at, as we affectionately call them, the Brady Bunch, over at Brady Park, who are always there to volunteer at many of the functions that we have in the village. Also, I'd like to talk about the Peter F. Colleran Post. Those are our veterans. I can tell you that they're always there for us and for the whole community. They're there actively. They're generous with their monies, generous with their time, and both of them are truly an asset to our community. Our job here as your village government is to improve upon what everyone else has done. I know our administration is very honored to be the stewards of this very special village. I hope you enjoyed the video of the 75th, and as I like to remind you, please shop locally and support our merchants. They're an integral part of our community. Once again, thank you for viewing the video, and I hope you enjoyed it.